Have you ever felt unseen, even while standing in the center of your own life? Like you've been tucked away, forgotten, overlooked, while others rise, while time moves, while silence wraps around you like a second skin. Listen to me. That hiding was never punishment. It was protection. And today, we'll uncover why God kept you in the shadows, why delay isn't denial, and how hiddenness is holy. If your soul's been whispering, there must be more, subscribe now and like this video, because what's coming next is not just revelation, it's restoration. There comes a moment so quiet, so sacred, that the world misses it, but your soul doesn't. A whisper within you starts to grow louder, not the kind of noise that screams to be heard, but the kind of stillness that carries the weight of already knowing. And that, chosen one, is how spiritual victory feels. Not loud, not public, not proven, but undeniable in your bones. You didn't cross into victory with a trumpet blast. You crossed in silence, through endurance, through private prayers, through the nights you kept showing up with no applause, no clarity, and no map. Yet here you are. And the proof? You're not waiting for confirmation anymore. You are the confirmation. The world may not know it yet, but heaven has already marked this chapter as a win. You're no longer fighting for victory. You're standing from it. That's why your peace feels strange. It doesn't make sense. You still see chaos around you, but somehow you're calm. You should be panicking, but you're not. You should be questioning, but your spirit is settled. That's not delusion. That's alignment. You've been through too much not to recognize this shift. This isn't adrenaline. This isn't survival. This is divine stillness, the kind that arrives only after long obedience in the same direction, the kind that says, you made it through storms designed to destroy you. Now it's time to stand and breathe. There's a reason things that once triggered you now barely graze your spirit. A reason the same words that once wounded you fall flat. It's not that they've changed, it's that you have. Your spirit grew strong in silence. You were being built while no one was watching. They called it isolation. Heaven called it initiation. This victory didn't come from the approval of others. It came from surrendering the need to be approved. And in that moment of letting go, God handed you the authority no man could take away. Listen, victory isn't always applause. Sometimes it's surviving the thing you thought would end you. Sometimes it's smiling again, not because life is perfect, but because your soul found rest without explanation. You've stopped begging for the blessing, and that's when the blessing starts chasing you. You've stopped trying to force doors open, and that's when doors begin to creak with opportunity, unprovoked, unexpected, unmistakably divine. You've stopped searching for signs, because now you are the sign. You're proof that God still speaks, that alignment still happens, that breakthrough still belongs to the ones who refuse to quit. So no, this isn't the beginning. This is the reward for not giving up during the middle. And if you've ever doubted whether you're making progress, let this moment be your mirror. You didn't fold. You didn't break. You're still here, more clear, more grounded, more you. That's the kind of win heaven celebrates. So take a breath and settle into this stillness. Don't rush past it. Let your soul feel the shift, because when you look back, this will be the moment you realize you already crossed over. The world just hasn't caught up yet. There was a time when the silence haunted you, when solitude felt like punishment, not protection. When being alone sounded like abandonment and not the sacred cocoon it really was. But now you see it clearly. That silence was God's shield. That solitude was his sanctuary. You weren't being punished. You were being preserved. See, chosen one, heaven didn't forget you. It was crafting you, forming you in hidden places, making you unshakable in the absence of applause. You were not isolated. You were being insulated from voices that would have derailed your destiny, from people who loved your potential but would have choked your process. There's something powerful that happens when you learn to sit with yourself, not with distractions, not with scrolling, not with shallow validation, but truly sit with your soul and say, "Who am I when no one's watching?" That's where the breakthrough begins, in the quiet, in the stillness, in the secret place where masks fall off and truth rises like the sun over your spirit. Solitude broke the addiction to needing to be seen. It taught you to see yourself, to recognize your worth. Without applause, without likes, without performance, it reintroduced you to your own voice, the one that doesn't tremble for approval, but trembles only before God. And in that silence, that's where your strength was forged. You started hearing things, not the noise of fear, but the whispers of divine clarity. You started to distinguish between good and God. You began to feel the dissonance of relationships that once felt full, but now feel false. And no, you weren't being harsh. You were being holy. Let's be honest, you've outgrown certain energies, not out of arrogance, but out of alignment. When you find peace in solitude, you stop tolerating chaos in company. You begin to choose quality over quantity, wholeness over codependence, purpose over presence. That doesn't mean you're above others. It means you've gone deeper within. You don't chase, you attract. And what you attract now is only what your stillness has made room for. The old you would have filled the silence with noise. The healed you finds God in the silence. You're no longer afraid of empty space because you know. When God fills a space, it's never empty. And that's why your discernment has grown so strong, because it was sharpened in sacred quiet. You hear what others miss. You sense what hasn't even been spoken. You feel when someone's energy doesn't match their words. That's not paranoia. That's spiritual sensitivity. You no longer need loud confirmations. You just need a still spirit. Because when your peace gets disturbed, you listen. That's your sign. That's the new compass. And it's never been wrong. So now, in this chapter of your life, you don't beg for inclusion. You bless the closed doors. You don't question what left. You thank God for what stayed. And most of all, you thank Him for what remained. You're stronger, calmer, rooted. And here's the miracle. Nothing changed around you, you changed within. And now the quiet doesn't scare you, it comforts you. Because you've learned the sacred secret. When the world grows silent, God speaks loudest. So let this be your anchor. You found peace where there was once pain. You found clarity where there was once confusion. You found yourself in the one place no one could reach, in the stillness. And now your silence is no longer empty. It is echoing with power. There comes a shift, quiet but undeniable, when you stop asking, "Why not me?" and start saying, "If not me, it wasn't mine." That's detachment, not bitterness, not indifference, but spiritual liberation. See, chosen one, you used to force doors open. You used to squeeze yourself into rooms too small for your spirit. You begged for friendships that drained you. You stayed in spaces that suffocated your soul because the world taught you that love had to be earned, that peace had to be pursued, that success had to be chased. But heaven teaches something different. What is divine does not need to be dragged. What is yours flows with grace, not resistance. You used to live clenched, gripping timelines, outcomes, people, but now your hands are open, and in opening them you didn't lose, you made room. Detachment is not giving up, it's giving back to God. It's saying, I no longer want what isn't aligned, I no longer need what only looks good, I only desire what feels like peace. You stopped needing closure. You stopped rewriting the past, trying to understand why they left, why it didn't work, why it all fell apart. Instead, you whispered, if it was for me, it would have stayed. And with that, you broke free. You stopped chasing apologies that were never going to come. You stopped trying to convince people to see your heart when they were only ever looking through the lens of their wounds. And here's what happened. In the absence of chaos, you found calm. In the absence of validation, you found worth. In the absence of their love, you found His. God stepped into the space you cleared, not with noise, but with confirmation. You began noticing the signs, the moments of unexpected peace, the ease in new opportunities, the friendships that didn't require explanation, the love that didn't need to be earned. That's what detachment attracts. Not emptiness, alignment, not loss, clarity. You no longer cry over what's gone. You now say, thank you for the lesson, and thank you, God, for the redirection. It hurts, yes, because shedding old versions of yourself always does. But that pain was sacred. It taught you what to never settle for again. Detachment healed you, not all at once, but piece by surrendered peace. And in that surrender, heaven moved. Because faith isn't just saying, God, I trust you to give it. It's saying, God, I trust you if you take it. That's the level you've reached now, the frequency of release, the posture of peace. You don't argue with outcomes anymore. You discern them. If it closes, you let it. If it fades, you bless it. If it stays, you welcome it. But never at the expense of your soul. This detachment isn't cold, it's warm with wisdom. You love people, but you no longer let them decide your worth. You show up fully, but not if it costs your peace. You give, but not until you're empty. And in this space, this beautiful space of detachment, you're starting to receive not just material things, but joy, clarity, divine timing, right people, right purpose, and most of all, you're receiving yourself again. Your energy is returning. Your fire is reigniting. Your boundaries are blooming like wildflowers. In the field you once tried to burn down for others' comfort, you are becoming the kind of person who doesn't chase, but attracts, who doesn't prove, but radiates, who doesn't beg, but believes. This is what detachment delivers. A life that no longer bends for what breaks you, but bows to the one who builds you. Let the past stay there. Let the peace flow here. Let the future unfold without fear. Because what's meant for you will arrive, not with drama, but with divine rhythm. You are not behind. You are in bloom. And it started the day you let go. There's something different about you now, chosen one. It's not arrogance. It's not showmanship. It's not even confidence in the worldly sense. It's divine resonance. You walk in, and something shifts. Not because you're trying, but because you've aligned. This is not glow up from makeup or outfits. This is the afterglow of the furnace. This is what survival looks like when God is the one who pulled you through. People sense it. They pause, they stare, they feel the vibration, even if they don't have language for it. This is the glow of someone who buried versions of themselves to resurrect in wholeness. This is the signal of someone who no longer negotiates their value to feel visible. You have become light, not the kind that blinds, the kind that warms, the kind that heals, the kind that makes people whisper, "I don't know what it is about them, but I feel peace when they enter." This is the aura of authenticity, the magnetic pull of someone in purpose. See, you used to dim your shine. You spoke softly so others wouldn't feel threatened. You minimized your wins so they wouldn't feel insecure. You bent yourself small to fit in their comfort zones, but not anymore. You've outgrown that skin. Now your soul wears sunlight, and you no longer apologize for being the brightness someone else refused to become. And this glow, it's not superficial, it's spiritual. It's the evidence of your becoming. It's the oil you pressed from pain. It's the fragrance of grace that followed your silent prayers. It's the fire of your faith that never went out, even when the winds of doubt howled through your life. You are radiant now, not because you finally made it, but because you finally said yes to who you've always been. And people can feel it, even those who once dismissed you. Now they hesitate. Now they second guess, because the version of you they remember no longer lives here. This glow isn't for show. It's a prophetic signal, a declaration in the spirit that you are no longer hiding. It tells the heavens you're ready. It tells hell you're not afraid. It tells the watchers, seen and unseen, that you've been refined. This is not arrogance. This is awareness. And the awareness says, I've been broken, I've been buried, but now I've been rebuilt, and I shine because I survived. When God breathes on a soul, that soul glows different. Your smile becomes anointed. Your silence speaks sermons. Your posture becomes prophetic. You don't need to prove anything anymore. Your peace is loud enough. Your stillness is magnetic. Your glow doesn't need translation. It transforms. You might not even recognize yourself in the mirror these days, but that's because you're no longer looking through the lens of trauma. You're seeing yourself through heaven's eyes. Chosen one, this glow is not the goal. It's the evidence of restoration, of surrender, of 1,000 unseen yeses whispered in private, of nights when you wiped your own tears and still chose joy in the morning. And now the world is starting to see what God always knew was inside you. You don't enter rooms hoping to be chosen. You enter knowing you are. You don't shrink to be accepted. You stand, and in doing so, you become the light someone else was praying for. This glow is sacred. Protect it, honor it, guard it like the treasure it is, because your glow will draw many. Not all will be meant to stay. Some will come to receive. Some will come to manipulate. That's why discernment is your next armor. But don't dim it again. Let them adjust. Let them rise to meet you. Let them question it if they must. But never again shrink so others feel tall. You carry presence now, a holy frequency, a visible echo of invisible obedience. You've become someone who changes the atmosphere simply by being true to who you are. That's not vanity, that's victory. You've grown so much, you now glow in silence. You've healed so deeply, you no longer need to explain your boundaries. You've surrendered so fully, your life is now a witness. Let your glow speak. Let your presence preach. Let your anointing answer the questions no words can satisfy. Because, chosen one, you are no longer waiting for the light. You are the light. There comes a moment in every chosen one's journey where the seeking ceases, not because you've given up, but because you've finally caught up to what's always been calling you. And in that moment, you realize something sacred. You are no longer the seeker. You are the fulfillment. The questions that haunted your sleep, they've become your answers. The doors you once knocked on, now they open before you even approach. The love you begged God to send, now it flows through you, not just to you. You are no longer waiting to become, because you are. You are the answered prayer of your past self. You are the miracle someone else needs. You are the prophecy now walking in flesh. You are the echo of heaven's yes. This is the shift. When you go from chasing peace to embodying it, from begging for validation to standing in divine affirmation, when you look in the mirror now, you don't just see a survivor. You see a vessel. You see a warrior. You see someone who didn't just make it. You see someone who was meant to make it. The pain no longer defines you. The waiting no longer tortures you. The rejection no longer shakes you, because you've stepped into your assignment and now you understand. The storm was never sent to drown you. It was sent to deliver you to this version of you. And what's even more beautiful, you're not chasing people anymore. You're not bending your worth to be accepted. You're not measuring yourself by how much others give you back. Why? Because you finally learned the rhythm of heaven. You are not here to be chosen. You were chosen before you arrived. And in that revelation, you stop striving. You stop shrinking. You stop settling. You now walk with presence. You speak with peace. You love with purpose. And when your feet touch the ground in the morning, hell gets nervous because you're awake. This is not ego. This is identity. This is not pride. This is prophecy fulfilled. And the world may not understand it at first. They may try to bring up your past. They may try to tether you to your former pain. But even if they can't see it, heaven already crowned it. So now, you release what you once clung to. You bless what broke you. You forgive what never apologized. Because you are too full to carry what no longer fits. And you're starting to see something profound. The blessings you're walking into, they don't feel foreign. They feel familiar. Not because you've had them before, but because your spirit has already lived here long before your eyes could see it. This is the anointing of alignment, the harvest of healing, the reward of resilience. Now you wake up not with fear, but with faith that the day will meet you in grace. Now you make decisions from clarity, not from trauma. You speak truth not to be right, but to be real. And the peace? It's no longer temporary. It's not performative. It's not bought. It's built. Day by day, prayer by prayer, tear by tear, surrender by surrender. And now, that peace is your home. So no, you don't chase anymore. Not people, not timelines, not approval. You attract what mirrors your frequency. You align with what respects your boundaries. You connect with what feeds your soul. Because your life is no longer about proving. It's about being. Being a light, being a reminder, being a bridge for someone else to believe in miracles again. And if you ever forget who you are, If the noise gets too loud, come back to this truth. You are not waiting for the moment. You are the moment. You're not walking toward victory. You're walking in it. You're not looking for love. You are the expression of it. And this life you're building now, this peace you protect, this glow you wear, it is sacred, so walk slowly, breathe deeply, smile often, because God is still walking with you, because you made it, and now you get to become even more. You're not done, chosen one. You've just begun. So here's the gentle wind down to seal this word. Your life is not late. Your process is not broken. Your light is not too much. You are the evidence of endurance, the reflection of grace, the voice that carries truth. Let no one, no voice, no failure, no fear ever convince you to dim it again. Stay steady, stay surrendered, stay sacred, because your story was never random. It was always divine. And now it's time for the world to see what heaven has always known. You are the fulfillment. You are the light. You are the promise. You have already won. Stay luminous. Stay true. Heaven sees you. So now you know you were hidden for healing, covered for consecration, delayed for divine release. And when the world couldn't see you, heaven never looked away. Let this truth echo in your bones. What God hides, He is preparing. And what He prepares, He reveals in power. So walk gently, chosen one. Don't rush out of the cocoon, because the wings He's giving you, they're not for display, they're for destiny. And as always, stay rooted in truth. Stay sacred in silence. Stay radiant in the dark. Because even hidden, you shine.